Hey, Ohio! It's too early for this shit. It's too early for drinking, so we're doing coffee today. I have a nice coffee. But today's also special. I'm obviously we have the camera over here instead of in front of me like I usually have it. We're gonna go on a little studio tour. I have a long ass USB cable connected to it, so we can kind of wander around. Which is also why I don't have my monitors in my ears at this time, because they are not going to extend far enough for me to be able to listen to myself. I need coffee. I didn't even sleep very well last night. I actually went to bed at probably like 11:30 or something, but I wasn't able to actually fall asleep until, I don't know, maybe 3 or something. So this is early for me. I don't know how often I want to do live streams like this. Anyways, what are we doing today? Today we're gonna. It's a little extra thing. We're going to be kind of taking a short little tour of my studio. It's not a lot to see. I mean, I live in an apartment, so it's not like there's a huge amount of space to have a bunch of equipment. Not to mention, I don't even have that much equipment to begin with. But I still kind of wanted to show things off. Someone had jokingly in my Discord had mentioned that when would I do a studio tour, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Sure, I'll show off my studio tour, even though it's a joke. Show off my studio tour? What does that mean? But anyways, who cares? Why don't we just jump right into that? I don't know how this is gonna work logistically, because Chad is over here. Wrath is here. Nice to have you, Wrath. Chad is over here, but I'm going to be kind of wandering around, also kind of behind there, and I probably won't be able to read chat while I'm back there. So, I don't know. Get your questions in uh, while I'm doing it, and then after I come see chat again, I'll maybe have to go back behind there again to show off any. I don't know. Whatever. It's early mornings suck. Anyways, why don't we do that? So I got the camera here all set up. I also have the Shure here. I'm gonna be taking the Shure with me, so that way you can hear me while I point the camera at stuff. So first of all, we have the usual studio, I guess. I mean, here's where I sit and do my work. You can see into the void, into the tunnel. Whoa! So, anyways, so here's the computer, the monitors, and monitors, and more monitors. Point camera at things and say words, I guess. It's like opposite time for me and one. Yeah, I know. It's opposite time for everyone. I'm doing an iced coffee kind of thing for this morning, so no, it's too early for beer. Later on today too, I suspect I'm going to be drinking a lot because I have a party I'm going to. So anyways, so this is where the action happens. Computer is down there. For my computer enthusiasts, it is a Fantex Flux Pro. That is a newer build, although a lot of the hardware inside is actually older. So, got some cable management going on down there. You'll have to excuse my house. It really desperately needs a vacuum. That's what happens when you're a hairy man, so please excuse the dust. Got some cable management going on down there, but it's still very, very much a rat's nest. And then over here is kind of where all the music stuff is. This towel actually is the secret for today. It's kind of actually in fact, this is kind of hard to get at with just one hand, so I gotta put the camera down and also the Shure. Hang out, Shure. There we go. All right, so this is the main piece for today. This cover that I built the stand here, and it's like just enough space to fit underneath the shelf here, which makes it really kind of hard to pull this cover back. But there we go. There. We can tilt the camera down. like that, yeah. So there's my new beautiful piece of hardware, and I wound up building the rack for it. I'll talk more about that later, but anyways, I even added some, wow, LEDs so we can light it up and stuff like that. I'll talk more about the rack and the JP-8080 when we get around to that, because that's going to be kind of the main part of the show today. But first, just the studio tour. That tunnel, I've had that dream before. Oh, that means no stream later, which is usually when I get Saturday morning. Yeah, there's not going to be no stream later. That's why I'm doing this now. So, anyways. So, we have the JP-8080 there. I have my mixing board down here. It kind of fits underneath. It's not entirely ideal, but I mean, I'm pretty space limited, so I'm happy with this. I do kind of wish I could put like rollers or like some sort of like drawer rack to pull it out, because all the cables and stuff are like back there. So in order for me to get to the cables, I have to actually kind of go around my whole setup here just to get to them. But I have access to the main mixing console here, which is the most important part. Although I'm also starting to find, now that I have multiple synths, multiple instruments that I want to use at the same time, that this mixing board setup is actually not ideal. I'll have to find some sort of solution for it, I don't know, later in the future, but I'm kind of tapped out on spending money right now. So it's just going to have to stay this way for a little while. So anyways, and we got guitar amps down there. I have this Lewis amp, which seems to be a Japanese brand. I like this one. The only thing that annoys me is that the output does not bypass the speaker, so it's really annoying when I am using it. That like it's still making noise when I'm trying to use the line out, and I would like to try to monitor the like sound of my guitar with all the effects. But anyways, I like this amp, but it's got some questionable problems. That thing is a piece of shit. It came with my dumpster bass, which is still back there. I still have the dumpster bass and the dumpster Casio. Both of them are hanging out. So got amps down there. And of course, there's also my Keylab 88, just the Mark 1. Oh, hi, Mark. I remember you made that joke when I introduced it last time. And then up above, we got shelf space. There's stuff. There's Miku's. There's anime girls here. I don't know. I'm probably gonna actually remove this set because I had to lift this. Hang on. This is hard to do. I had to lift this up because, of course, it has these bolts here. So I had to lift it up in order to make space for the JP-8080. But I was actually using this shelf before. It's kind of like a bookshelf for all my study material. So now all my study books are over there, just hanging out. I'm going to have to figure out what to do about that. I'll probably take the Miku's down and then make this shelf my my study material shelf or something like that. Let's see. Gear acquiring... I smell gas, so much gas. Yes, gear acquiring syndrome. I am familiar with it, yes. I had never been into hardware until, my dad died, and then I had money to spend on gear. So now I'm feeling it. Just break the speaker wire for no speaker. I assume. Yeah, well, okay. I do have some figures. I used to be really fucking weeb back in America. Actually, I think I got this one from one of the Crane games here in the arcades. This one I did actually buy in Japan. I like Blue Reflections. This is a character from Blue Reflections. But to be honest, that was kind of at the end of my weeby phase. It was while I was in Japan. The Miku figure is actually from America. I have a handful of them. Back when I was in America, I had bought a few of them. I actually have a bunch more in my closet. That over time, my mom is like, I don't want this in my house, so I'm just gonna send them to you over time. So
So I've been receiving them in packages slowly but surely. But I don't really know what to do with them either. I just find them mostly as just plastic dust collectors, which it seems to be doing a pretty good job of doing that, as you can see here. So, doing its job as being a plastic dust collector. But I don't know. I wanted to decorate my my room a little bit, so I brought them out. I have these sake bottles here. This is Hayase Oda, which is one of my favorite ones. I've drinking it a few times on stream. This one's nice. The blue bottle back there, we're not looking at her legs, we're looking at the blue bottle. That's actually not that nice of a sake. It's actually very, very common, so maybe I might want to replace that bottle with something nicer. I like the sake bottle displays, and the fan, too. I got this in Kyoto, of course. What a fucking tourist trap. So I have the fan. I'd like to keep those, but I don't know, maybe put my books and those on the side or whatever. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. And by the way, I guess I should mention these because these are Japanese things. These are omomoris. They're kind of like, I guess in a way you could say good luck charms or something. They all mean something different. So this is just like a general kind of good luck charm from a shrine. I usually get one from each shrine that I visit. This one's like a good luck charm for health, and this is also another just good luck charm from a specific shrine. This one was in a nearby town, so I always get one whenever I visit one of the shrines. I have a bunch on my bag too. So anyways, instruments and stuff. There it is. I'm gonna try to walk around now. I have to do kind of a funky little limbo here. I'm gonna set the camera down over here where I can grab it from the other side. So you get to stare at that box for a second. And I'm going to try to wander around here. And my mic is tangled up. There we go. Now that I'm on the other side, I can pull this through here. Hello! And now it's this side that's the kind of awkward part because I'm kind of far away from the screen, so I can't really read chat. So just bear with me. I can't read chat, but I can kind of show you back here. So now we're kind of behind everything. So I got like other instrument stuff here. There's the dumpster bass. It's a piece of shit. So I don't know. I had undone that string, and the dumpster Casio as well. There's another guitar amp down here. This is a Yamaha amp. It came with my guitar, which is hanging out right there. I don't have any more cable length on my camera, so I can't get you any closer to it. That's about as close as you're going to get. I hope the camera's pointing at it. Is it pointing at it? It is. So, yeah, that's a Yamaha amp. Came with the guitar. Actually, I like that one too. But I just keep the Lewis amp plugged in. So back here, it got cable management stuff. It looks super messy, but I've cleaned it up quite a lot. We have this rail here that kind of helps keep the audio cables and I guess USB cables away from power. We have power cables here. I've tried to make sure that power cables don't cross with the audio cables too much as I physically can. So I actually did this week after building the rack for the JP-8080. I had some extra parts left over, so I just put this together real quick, just a little cable tray. So obviously there's the back of the mixing board here. Back here, there's not a lot to show off. I have this MIDI box here. So I had to get this because now I'm trying to control multiple instruments. So this MIDI box just plugs in through USB and then has 3 MIDI outs and 3 MIDI ins. So I got this, and then we have the MIDI cables going off to the Mini Logue and then one going off to the JP-8080. And down here, actually, this little box here is just like sort of, it's supposed to be a noise reduction box. To be honest, I don't hear much of a difference with or without it. I did some like A/B comparisons when I plugged it into the system. I don't really notice much of a difference. But whatever, because it might be doing something, it might not be, but it's not causing any problems, so I've just kind of left it plugged in anyways, might as well. So yeah, That's really it for like the studio stuff back here. I do have this organizational drawer which has a bunch of sound stuff in it. Like here's just various noisemakers, just a bunch of those in there. Down here there's various other bits and bobs, looping pedal, some documentation, pop filter. Down here we have keyboards, typing keyboards and playing keyboards. Have a little monotron, little ribbon synth, some more documentation as well. Headphones, more headphones, cables, lots of cables, and this microphone. I used that shitty ribbon mic last time. I didn't like it. I also have a bunch of these little ferrite like things that you put on the cables. I don't know if they make much of a difference, but they're really fucking cheap. And they're supposed to help reduce noise as well and signals. So I went ahead and also slammed some of those on some of my cables as well, because they're really cheap. And down here, I think there's just tools. So there we have it. That's all the backside. The backside. We have over here. We do have a CD collection. Here's all the CDs and some weeb stuff and books. More CDs and games, so, but not so much interesting back here. I think that kind of covers everything. And now I can go back to the front where I can actually read chat now. So just hang tight. I gotta put the camera down here. Gotta do this whole like limbo thing again. Take the microphone. Okay, back on the other side. Hello. So, now that we're back over here, I gotta work out this microphone situation. Not microphone, camera. What is it caught on? What are you stuck on? There. Okay, let's see. What did I miss for chat? Let's see. You need at least one, then maybe another cool one, maybe a few more so they aren't lonely. A sideways keyboard. The cable management is actually good. Well, thanks. It's not perfect. I still think, I mean, it's messy. It's messy, but also, like, everything everything is laid out sensibly. It's just that it doesn't look tidy. I guess that's the thing. Let's see, drawer of ringy dingies. Yes. You got the blue Monotron. That one has the best keyboard for the Monotrons. Very nice. It was super cheap. I actually bought it at the same time I bought the JP-8080. I played around with it for a little bit, but it's maybe a little bit too difficult to use for music. I'll have to fiddle around with it some more. Maybe. I don't know if I'm ever going to actually use it for music. It's more of a toy. You need more weeb stuff and CDs, so it's piled up everywhere. No, thank you. CDs, I'll probably collect more. I mean, it's also another hobby of mine. Has become just going to like used media stores, used stores, secondhand stores, and just browsing CDs because they're usually really cheap, and then buying stuff. And when I buy CDs too, I use it as kind of like a music discovery time. So I often just buy CDs that have cool art cover. I don't know who it is, but I'm gonna buy it. Since it's so cheap, it works out. So I'll probably be getting more CDs. Also, hi, I'm Mark. Mark 1. Watch me play. What kind of music do you make? I make all sorts of stuff. So now that I'm cables could be different colors. Okay, you are correct, Wrath, and I tried doing that. Gosh, how am I gonna? Gosh, the fucking JP-8080 is over here, but my screens are over here. How am I gonna read chat and play with it? The cables could be different colors. That's actually, so I tried looking for like different colored cables
to kind of better organize things, I have the blue MIDI cables. I don't know. It's some random Chinese brand, but I mean, like MIDI cables are so simple that I didn't care. I assumed that some fly-by-night Chinese brand is probably going to be fine for MIDI cables. I'm not too worried about the quality there, but they're the only ones that I could find that had like different color cables, and they didn't have them in like a variety of color. Their thing was just making blue cables. What I really wanted was like different color MIDI cables for each instrument, so that way I would know which one's going to which. Unfortunately, no such luck on that end. All of the other cables that I have, like the aux cables, those are all, I bought them all pretty much at the same time before I knew it was going to become a rat's nest of cables back there. So if I do want to get some like balanced cables because they're not balanced. I will also actually, I do want to get more cables. I want to get the balanced cables, but also the JP-8080 is a stereo synthesizer. Right now, all we're going to hear today is going to be mono, because everything's going through mono. It's mono output into my mixing board, and the mixing board is also mono out into my my sound card. So we're not going to be taking full advantage of its stereo sound today, but still, I want to make adjustments here to try to have like take advantage of that stereo feature, and I want to have balanced cables, so I kind of have to redo all of this. Let me actually move over here now. I'm over at my microphone next to my computer. I'm gonna actually, maybe I can turn this screen. Oh, I turned it off. Shit. Maybe I can turn this screen so it's still behind me, but at least it's easier to see. Okay. It's slightly easier to see, but it's still kind of awkward to have to reach at. So before I turn it on, so I also talked about, I actually built the rack for the JP-8080. So I couldn't find any good racks. Like I checked Amazon. I've also been on kind of a Amazon protest lately. I know they're super convenient and often have prices that are much more cheaper than what you can find anywhere else. But I wound up I got so frustrated with them. I had this process, I don't know, a couple of months ago that just really annoyed me, and I'm just not really a fan of the Bezos bucks. So I've kind of been on a protest. I checked some local stores for synth racks and just couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything at all, let alone something that I would be happy with. So I wound up going to Amazon looking for this stuff, and they had some racks, but I wasn't really happy with any of them. They all look really cheaply made. They're also all too tall. So what I wound up doing is I just went to a hardware store, and I bought a bunch of these like pre-cut, pre-drilled metal rails, and they have like these long holes, so the hole spacing didn't have to be perfectly the same as regular rack mounted stuff, because there's a very specific specifications for where these holes are placed, but I didn't need to meet that because the holes are so long. So I just bought a bunch of these pieces and kind of built the rack myself. That was a frustrating experience, but the end result is that I got a rack that is the perfect height for my setup here. Like I said, it like perfectly fits underneath this. It perfectly fits underneath this shelf, so there's plenty of space, and then also there's enough of a gap. There's enough of a gap below that I can still have my mixing console here too. So it works out. Let's see. What did I miss? I actually have that too many CDs and book problem. It's in piles. The cat knocks them over for my life. Like a table mount rack. It's dope. Yeah. Well, there's a few like table rack mounts too that were available on Amazon, but they were for like 8U, which is too high. This is the JP-8080 is 6U. This is kind of,
I don't know, 7U or something like that. So it does have some pretty cool features. I hesitate to show them off because I'm not, I don't trust my craftsmanship. Actually, if we take a look here, you can see there's this crossbeam right here, right? And because of the slotted holes, I've actually made it so that way I can tilt this unit. It takes some friction, so I have to like hold the back. Where is the back? There it is. And so I can actually tilt it up like that to get a different angle on it. I don't know how often I'm going to use that, but I did build it into the rack so I can get different tilts. Now, like I said, I'm not confident in my craftsmanship. I can't seem to get it to lean back now. All right, well, that's... I'm not a maker by trade, so it's not like this is high quality shit. It's there. I added the LEDs, of course, too, so... there we go. Okay. I think actually only one side leaned back, but whatever. So it's got some degrees of leaning on it, so I can adjust the way that it's facing me. And there's a little bit more because these feet screw in or screw out, so I can screw them in to kind of tilt it forward a little bit more if I want. Right now they're fully extended out, so it's fully leaning back. This is its maximum lean back angle. So, there we go. Oh, I was going to talk about forget the mixer thing. Look, I want it in stereo. I have the Mini Logue and I have the 8080. What I've realized is that I've even been working on a song where I wanted to use both of these instruments, but the output of the mixing board goes to the computer, and it goes into one input on my sound card. And so what happens is, of course, if I want to, like, say I have this track dedicated to the 8080 on the computer, I have Reaper open. Why don't we open up Reaper? So for example, maybe I want like this track dedicated to the 8080, so I'd have it on recording, right? And then you might actually hear an echo of me, so let me turn that off so you don't have that. And then I want this one to be the Mini Logue. Well, no matter what, it's the same output channel from the mixing board to Reaper. So now both of them are actually recording both the Mini Logue and the JP-8080. It's like I need a DAC. I need a sound card with multiple inputs. I don't need a mixing board. I don't know. It's something I'm going to have to figure out later. Right now, it's fine. What I'll just have to do is just record them one at a time. I can't listen to them both at the same time. So anyways, why don't we actually play with the JP-8080 now? Let me actually get my monitors too so I can hear things. By monitors, I mean headphones. You never know. You never know what monitors I'm talking about. Computer screens, speaker monitors, in-ear monitors. What monitors am I talking about? Who knows? Okay, there we go. I got monitors in my ears. Now I can hear what's being played. Alright. So, first of all, I just want to show this off. When you power on, there's a really cute animation that plays on the tiny little LCD screen. So why don't we witness the magic together? Here comes the power button. Very nice. Okay, so we have the JP-8080 here. Let me make sure we got volume set, so we need to crank that up a little bit. And I think the JP-8080 is actually one of these two. I don't remember which one. I think it's this one right here. The output 7 and 8. If I do that. So there's obviously no keyboard on the JP-8080 because it's meant to be a rack mounted unit. You're expected to bring your own MIDI keyboard, but it does have a preview setting in it, it'll use these front keys here as like a little keyboard. It's only meant to preview the sound. It's not really meant to be something that you actually play the instrument with. So I'll turn on the preview, and then I can press any of these. And there's no sound, so I do think this is the correct one here. Yeah. So there we go. Okay, so, and actually it starts up with the user patches. So actually this one is actually a patch that I made. I didn't change the name though. The patch was originally called Sandstorm. This worried me. Thankfully, okay. So this worried me. It has a bank of preset patches and then a bank for just user-made patches. However, rather than making the whole user bank like just in it instead of initialized patches, instead it just copies one of the preset banks for some reason. I don't know why. So when I accidentally overwrote Sandstorm, which by the way is the same Sandstorm that made the song Sandstorm, I was really worried. Thankfully, I only overwrote the user version. You cannot overwrite the presets that do come with the synth. Thank God. But anyways, I didn't realize that at first. But this is not the Sandstorm that was used in the song. This was a patch that I had made. So there we have it. Woo, synth noise! I'm monitoring the stream? Yes, indeed. So, and I made one other one here. So I've affectionately called the JP-8080 Erieri-chan. I called her Erieri-chan because Eddie kind of sounds like 8080. So, Erieri-chan. So we have Erieri-chan here. So anyways, there we go. This was another patch that I had made. So the big gimmick for the JP-8080 is the introduction of the Super Saw oscillator. So the JP-8080 is based on the JP-8000, which is loosely based on the Jupiter 8. Both of which were known for their big synth sound, but specifically the JP-8000, which actually introduced the Super Saw oscillator, really helped create like basically late 90s, early 2000s trance and techno. So I wanted to use the Super Saw waveform, so I made this one. I really love its digital delay, and it also has a really nice digital chorus. I believe I'm using both of those on this patch. But anyways, what I want to go through is some of the presets. So we can press this group up or down to switch into, you can see it says P1 now. So these are presets. So now these are actually the original presets. You cannot overwrite these. And if I go to preset 2, you can actually see, oh, there's Sandstorm. So if you want to hear the original sound that was in the Sandstorm song, that was a meme, I don't know, back in, what was it, 2010, like early YouTube days or something like that. This was a pad that was used in it. And for whatever reason, it's because of I honestly, it's been a long time since I've listened to Sandstorm, so I honestly don't remember that sound at all. But apparently, this was used in that song, and because it's this patch here, they named the song after this patch. So there's your fun little trivia. The song Sandstorm was named after patch P211 on the JP-8080 or maybe JP-8000. I don't know if it was on the 8000. Do Sandstorm. So let me kind of walk you through the synth here. So we're going to go back to P1. So the synth basically has 2 oscillators and 2 layers, basically resulting in a total of 4 oscillators, and has 10 polyphony. So interestingly, I actually thought this was kind of cool. It makes sense, but causes some problems. So since there's basically all of this times 2, rather than double up all of these controls for layer 1 and layer 2, instead you have the upper and lower. So you select them like this, and you can modify the settings. So I can adjust the lower voice here, and make changes here, and then I can go to the upper and make changes here, and those are 2 different voices that it'll have. And then also you have the key mode here. So single will actually only use one of these. So it'll use whichever one's selected. So like if I want to just have the upper voice selected, then I'll just set it to single, and it'll only play that voice. Or I can select lower and only do the lower voice. Dual here is going to use both of the voices at the same time. So it'll use the full 4-voice sound. And then finally is split. So it'll split the lower and the upper voices on the keyboard. So like when you cross a certain note on the keyboard, it'll start playing lower sounds or something like that. So what this does cause is it's really kind of annoying because, of course, these are not like motorized knobs. And since this came from 1998, it seems like there is no such thing as like latch or catch, which is like a common feature now for knobs on hardware synthesizers. Where like latch would be, let's say, for example, this patch here, Chariots, let's pretend that their cutoff filter is like right here. So what latch would do is if I change to a different preset, it will remember that the cutoff frequency was here, and so if I make any adjustments here with the cutoff frequency on the knob itself, it won't change until the knob reaches where it used to be. Then once it reaches where it used to be, then it'll start making changes, right? Unfortunately, there's no latch or catch. Everything's jump on it, and jump is basically when you touch the knob, it will immediately jump the value to where the knob is. This makes it really annoying when you're trying to make adjustments between lower and upper layers, because let's say on the lower layer I set the frequency here, and then I go to the upper layer, and now, so it's remembered where the lower layer is, so I'll put my finger there. It remembers that it's here, and now I'm going to make adjustments to the upper layer, and maybe I want the frequency cutoff here. Okay, good. Oh, but now I kind of don't like where I'd set the lower cutoff frequency. I want to make some adjustments. So now I'd switch back to lower, and now since it's jump, when I move the knob, it immediately jumps it back here. So now I don't remember where it was exactly, right? And it's like that for every knob. Like the cutoff frequency, no big deal, but when you're talking about like, you have like your range knob, your effects panel, all of this stuff, man, it's my one complaint about this synthesizer. 1998, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. 2 layers is sweet, split is dope too, nice. Having the values not show on the knob is a trip out, yeah. The display will display some of the value. Well, will it? It's actually, maybe it's only in, It should actually display. Is it only because I'm in the presets? If we go here, oh, there we go. Okay, but yeah, it doesn't actually show you the value of the knob. It just says what your doing. This is actually one of the things. So like each of the oscillators here, you have 2 control knobs for each oscillator, but they change depending on what it is that what oscillator you're using. Like for example, right now we're on the super saw, so we have the detune of the saw waves. So this just affects how detuned they are. Let's put it on preview. Right, so you got stuff like that, and then you also have like the mix. I'm not really sure what mix does on the super saw. Maybe it mixes the other saw waves with the original saw. Anyways, but you know, you have that, and then like if I go to the pulse wave, the square wave, then you know, you can have pulse width. Let's set it to... Oh, it is on single. I thought it was actually on dual. Whatever. Or maybe it... So, anyways, there's pulse width on this and PWM depth. So, each of these will control something different on the oscillator, depending on what oscillator is selected. Also, did I already say glad to have you here, Orc? I don't remember. I'm distracted with making noises. Glad to have you here, Orc. Whether I said it once or twice, doesn't matter. Just wanted to tell you, glad to have you here. Having the value... Yeah. My Microfreak has the same thing with changing presets. Pulse girth. No. So anyways, let's go back to some of the... Oh. Yeah, let's go back to some of the presets. So anyways, so it is kind of annoying having to make adjustments to this with the 2 layers because everything's just jump. I have dived through the menus, and I guess I should say, I'm still kind of learning the synth. The manual to this is a thick motherfucker. Hang on. Believe it or not, actually, gosh, there's such a cool story behind this. So the synth itself, so it's from 1998, but you may notice this is like in pristine fucking condition. It is beautiful, the condition that it's in, despite being 30 years old. And that's because the dude who sold it to me was a collector. He was a synth collector. And as a result, he took really good care of the synths. And so much so, he actually it came with the original box. And it came with the original hardware, too, that came in the box, including the manual. I have the original manual to this. And it's a thick motherfucker. It's a textbook. And I thought, oh, well, that's just because there's all the different languages in it. No. This thick motherfucking manual is entirely in Japanese. So, I looked up, I downloaded a PDF copy of the English manual, but still, it is a thick manual that I'm reading through very slowly. So I'm learning things. So I guess I should say, I don't think there is a catch or latch on the knobs. I don't think that option is available. I have dived through the menus. You can press edit, like here's patch. You can adjust some of the settings, right? I have dived through all of these menus looking for latch catch, knob behavior. Could not find it. So I'm under the assumption it does not have different knob behaviors. I'm just stuck with jump on the knob behaviors. Sucks, but oh well. But I maybe after reading the manual, maybe I'll find how to set the latch and catch stuff on there. I should also just say any complaints I do have about the synth may come down to I just don't know how to do that, right? I haven't learned yet. I will say, so when adjusting like all of these, like say I do want to use dual, so I want the top and bottom voice to be used, but rather than having to remember where the knobs are set on the upper and lower to like just create a big, like one big sound where it's like basically the same on both. Taking like having a lower layer that's just like an octave down, but an upper layer that's an octave up, but otherwise the same, something like that to create a big synth sound.
There is actually a convenient way to do that. I don't have to like manually go back and forth between lower and upper making those adjustments. You can just press both of them, and now any adjustments that I make will be applied to both the upper and lower voices. So now all of them will have the super saw. Why don't we just set it to pulse? Sure. We'll do that. We're gonna set the LFO to nothing. You do have to at least touch the knobs in order for it to apply to both. So I have to kind of go through and like touch everything. So there is that, but it's fine. It's fine. So that maybe we want portmanteau, my favorite cheese, turned on, and I don't know. We wouldn't do no cross mod, no LFO. Pitch is fine. Let's do kind of like let's just do a pretty normal square kind of thing. So actually, the filter envelope, we'll just do something like this. We'll have a little release on it. That's the filter envelope. My bad. Actually, no. Leave it like that. Amp envelope. That's the one I was thinking of. Just something like that. And there we go. Okay, so I've kind of gone through all the knobs. And now, when we set it to preview, it's kind of like the arpeggio is on. Oops. There we go. So there we go, and I can also play with the cutoff. Yeah. The menus are English, however? Yeah, they are. Yeah, I don't even think there's a language change on them. I'm glad it is all in English, because I think whatever language it ships with, that's the language you're stuck with. It's interesting, because I'm pretty sure Roland is a Japanese company. I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. Korg is. They don't sound like Japanese names, but Korg is a Japanese company, so I don't know. Anyways, thank goodness it's all in English. I do want to say, I'm not a fan of the frequency slider. I really kind of prefer the knob. It feels like it's much easier to make more fine adjustments. I have to kind of do this weird maneuver here where I like brace the top of Erieri-chan here, and then kind of push down with my thumb, and kind of that adds more friction to the slider, so it allows me to kind of more gradually pull it up. But it still feels like, it's kind of going it's not like feeling like it's doing a very smooth kind of glide. When I do it with my just my fingers like this, it's really hard to make like granular adjustments because it keeps wanting to kind of jump. I think you can kind of see that in the camera. So I have to do this weird little maneuver here. So, anyways, why don't we go through some more presets? I think I can press this one. Yeah. What I have learned is I really like the arpeggio on here, so we can just turn that on here. Oh, that's already grimy. So we have the arpeggio panel here, and I can set the octave range. I was. I really like the arpeggiator on here. I was kind of in preparation for this stream last night. I was going through some of the presets, just having fun. I try not to spoil myself too much because I want to discover some of these presets with you guys. But I kept finding like a sound, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. What happens if I put the arpeggiator on? And then I put the arpeggiator on, and I'm like, oh man, that's kind of sick. So the arpeggiator on this, I really fucking love. It takes like any of the sounds from like a to a wow. So yeah, hell yeah. Ooh, get that bass. It's actually kind of clipping. It's so bass heavy. It's got a cool little rhythm there. Careful, you'll melt your face off. Let's go to another one. Oh, Morph Trance. Hell yeah, this one's fun. It's another arpeggiated one, but this one's arpeggiated. Sorry, I realize you have to. Shh. Sorry, I realize I have to talk over the synth. It's all coming through the same mixing board, so it's hard to hear me. This one is actually an arpeggiator just by default. Set the filter envelope here, kind of add a little bit of a slightly slow attack and slightly slower decay. Bring this down to like there. Oh, we need it. There we go. Some of that digital delay. I love the delay on the JP on Erieri-chan. It's the delay and the chorus on this that are just it's what makes it the JP-8080. Because the Super Saw, like once the JP-8080, once the JP-8000 really introduced the Super Saw, you started having a lot of other synths create the Super Saw. And of course, there's plenty of other like even software synthesizers that you can do Super Saw on. Of course, it became such a traditional sound. All it is just taking. I think in the case of the JP-8000 and 8080, it's like 7 saw waves slightly out of tune from each other. But, you know, once people figured out how that's how the Super Saw is made, it's just taking multiple saw waves and putting them out of tune with each other. It became a staple, basically. So, although the Super Saw is what kind of defined the 8000, I think what made it really last is its multi-effects panel. Specifically the chorus and the delay is like it's what makes this synth. So like all the sounds, of course, I've really wanted to take advantage of those kind of sounds. And of course the Super Saw too. I like the Super Saw, but it's been done on other synths. Final Fantasy Crystal talking to you. Yeah. Let's see. Ooh, I like that portmanteau. Oh, and I just realized I'm going through... Oh, okay. I'm going through the different banks. I need to That's the one. We need to go to 1-3. This is cool. Kind of haunting. Kind of need a little more volume. I don't know. It's pretty simple, but well, simple. I don't know if simple is the right word, but it's not in your face. It's very subtle. I kind of like it though. I think I could do something with that. Feedback lead. I remember this one. This one's pretty fun. This one actually really quite reminds me of some of the synths that would be used in Portal 2's soundtrack. They used a lot of arpeggios in that soundtrack with synth sounds like that, so that felt very Portal to me. Yeah, that one's fun. Yeah. I feel like I've heard this sound before in a song, actually. What if we set the octave up? Yeah. It's like everything that just comes out of this synth is just beautiful. I love all the presets. I don't even want to make sounds on it. I just want to use the presets. Play ARPs by hand. Yeah. Well, okay. So I do like the ARP, but in order to set the timing of it, the note length, you have to menu dive for that, and I don't want to menu dive. Although there is a tempo thing here. We could just do that. Like set that on. This is not a good patch for that. Here we go. Put that on. Could make like a little driller. We need 4 notes. There we go. Y'all got a time division knob button? I mean, I have, this is just the tempo, but it gets overridden once there's any MIDI signals coming into the synth. I can override that if I want, but I've specifically set it up so that way the arpeggiator will sync to the host's clock, and by host I mean Reaper. So yeah, I have this. So it's not really a time division. I really kind of wish it was, to be honest, because in order to actually change the note length, like I said, I have to go like dive through the menus in order to change it from like 16ths to 8ths or faster, 30 seconds or something like that, which sucks. But actually, I will say that's an improvement over the fucking Mini-Logue. The Mini-Logue has a 1 speed. That is the only speed you get for your arpeggiator. 1 speed. And I hope you like it. I hope you like 16th notes because you don't get slower or faster on it. cool stuff. I feel like I can make a pretty cool dance track out of that. It is called the Dance Split. Oh, it's split. So I wonder if there's a... Yeah, I think it's got a bass on the left hand. And then you have the super saw on the right hand. Pretty neat. I do have my keylab set up here. I could probably... Hang on. We can take advantage of that. Let's just set this to... I need a track, insert track, and... We want to set the MIDI. Wow, there's an echo. Okay, there we go. Set the MIDI and set it to output to 1. Wow, there's super latency on that. What's up with that? Holy shit. Look at that. I don't know why there's such a huge delay on it, but look. That is so slow. Hang on. Something's adding a lot of delay here. Let's turn off all the effects. We don't really need them. Oh, that's such a huge improvement. Okay. Alright, so now we can kind of take advantage of the... So... Huh, that's interesting. Oh, there it is, okay. So there's the cross. That's where it crosses over, right here at, what is that? A, 1, 2, 3. A3. And then once you go to F3. Yeah, anyways, there you go. You got the keyboard split going on right there. Do these sounds fit? What the fuck? Buddy, it's from 1998, okay? Look, they had different ears back then. I'm not very good at like left hand, right hand playing. I'm sure you could have like a pretty sick like bass going. Nah, it's so hard for me to do left and right hand stuff. I'm not even like moving my left hand around that much, just doing a little pedal like that. It's so difficult. I don't know, but it works. It's fine. For fuck's sake. Something like that. Still all this preset, sorry man, I don't know. The bass is alright? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The lead I think needs a little bit of work. I'm pretty sure we could just bring this back over here. You can see what I'm doing. First of all, we gotta get that delay in there. They didn't know how good they had it back when they made this delay. Do that, and then let's get a little bit more detuned of a super saw on it. And let's see. The frequency. It's already starting to sound a little bit better to me. Let's see. 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 Let's see Still a little bit grainy, I guess you'd say. I don't know. Something like that. Let's see. We can actually turn the preview off since I have the keyboard set up now. Oh yeah, some cheesy strings. That's just what I need. Yes, I need more of this in my music. It's got a nice big chord on there. Let's take advantage of that 10 key. That's the wah wah knob. Let's take advantage of that 10 key polyphony. Yeah! Get that big sound in there. Something like that. I don't know. What else do we got? Descender? Whoa. Ah, yeah. 80s cartoon right there. He-Man. It'd probably have some, like, weird, like... Hang on. Something more like... Man, that got some bass to it. God, I didn't hear that fucking sub coming in there at the end. Holy shit, that sub would rattle the fucking house. Alright, anyway. Glass columns. Yes, very glass. I think I could make a horror movie out of that. Skeletor's meth lab. That's pretty good. BPM pulsating. Is it a arpeggio? No? Weird. The arpeggio's not on. So is it just done through the LFO? It's kind of cool, though. $19.79. Big sound. Like it. The LFO filter mod, probably, yeah. I was sure X-rated content on YouTube was forbidden, yet here we are watching Golem play on his girlfriend's knobs live in front. Yeah. And I wonder if 1979 might be a reference to the Jupiter 8, because like I said, the JP-8000 was based on the Jupiter 8, which was... I actually thought it was from the 80s. But maybe it was 79? I don't know. Maybe 79 is a reference to something else. Who knows? elliptical. Oh yeah, that sounds pretty tense. It sounds like a good intro to a song. What if we do a higher octave with it? It's kind of cool. Let's see. MKS 80 bells space. Does sound like there's another pad that's just underneath it. I don't know if I like the pad really. The bells are nice though. Yeah, it's quite nice. Legato. Oh man. We got TB-303 emulation in here. You ready for that bass? Wait, that's a little too bassy. Hang on. I feel like we need to open that filter up a Sounds quite messy. Sounds quite messy. I think actually this one might be better without the arpeggiator turned on because it's too messy. I don't know. I like the 303 sound, but I'm not too convinced on that one. Massive pad! Super Saw 303. Was it using the Super Saw? No. It was using a saw wave. Did they kill the delay on the 303? Let's go back to it. I think that the 303 had its own unique delay on it too. I don't think it needs to be killed totally, but yeah, maybe turning it down some. See that? Yeah. Yeah. Erieri-chan. That's what's massive. And this pad. It's a pretty big pad. They didn't lie. Ooh, that's good. I am going to warn you guys that I do have other things I have to do today, so I'm actually going to have to probably stop the stream soonish. I want to go to, I think it was, I wrote it down, P17777 Observatory. This sound, I fucking love this one. It's so calming and peaceful. It's also pretty quiet, so I'm gonna crank the volume up a little bit. So there we go. And I don't remember what chords I played last time, but hopefully I can just do something. I really like the layer underneath. You have like this little sparkly on top, but then you have a layer underneath that. It's kind of like this very synthy. It kind of sounds like it might be using this super saw, but it's like heavily cut off. Anyways, it's very lovely. I like that one. Oh, it's on hold. Oops, there we go. Really like that one. I probably will be using that one in the song, I think. This one is deep, yeah. Let's go to the next bank. Let's see, I've seen there's Sandstorm. I think it was this one? No, not this one. I feel like I've heard that sound in game soundtracks before somewhere. Rezopad. Yeah! Let's get some! Oh, distort. This is the one that I think I was thinking of. Still not, I don't know. I like the 303 sound, but it's still not quite doing it for me. I probably need to play with the delay and stuff some more, like the other one. Oh, the Guitar Killer. Okay, I like this one. I found this one last night. I mean, it's all right like that, right? This is all right. But then this was one of the ones that, like, I turned on the arpeggiator and played around with this, and that's when it became more fun. Set it to 1 octave up, down, and then you kind of get this guitar chug out of it. Now it's fun, yeah? Yeah, I like this one. See, you throw in the arpeggiator, and then it's just so much cooler, right? Like, with it off, it's like... Yeah, that's alright, that's alright. But, then you put that on, it's just like... Yeah! Who we fucking fighting today? Let's see. Click... Oh, this is another one... I think I had to play around with the patch a little bit to kind of adjust some frequencies. This was another one yesterday where it's like, that's kind of cool, but also kind of boring. But then you turn on the arpeggiator, and then... And then it becomes more interesting. I do think yesterday I also played around with the cutoff frequency and some of the delay, some adjustments to that, and made it a little bit more spicy. This one has potential. It's just a little bit boring, kind of out of the gate. Diving. See, there they got the arpeggiator on this one. Sounds like we're going to the Tron's world. You ready for this? Diving Stepping into the Matrix. It's almost a baby kick drum. I was doing some bad beatboxing there too. Letterbox. Quite loud. Those are some synth strings, yes? Sort of sounds like it's having some trouble. That's kind of pretty. That's some Mortal Kombat shit. Quasar! Yep, those sound like more 80s cartoon soundtrack noises. Look, come on. The 80s retro revival has been around for forever. You got games coming out all the time with that 80s aesthetic, right? Or some sort of reference to it. Look, hire me, pay me. I got the sounds that you're looking for. Anyways. '80s never fucked off. Yeah, no kidding. Throb. Do you hear that? Erieri-chan's throbbing for me. Just more 80s sounds. I don't hate it though. Pretty good. Sync D2. Yeah, this one sounds like this sound was kind of based off of the last one. Kind of similar sound. Yeah, maybe. There's some similarities. Down to earth. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Yeah. We still have so many more to go through. So, like, just to show off how the patch selection works. So, basically, you have the top row, which is like the first number here. So, like, you can see now it's 1, 2, 3. And then it goes through these numbers. So, you have bank 1, patch 1, bank 2, patch 2, bank 3, patch 3, or 2, or 5, whatever. So, then it goes through that. But then you can also, I've been calling them banks, but I guess this is technically the bank. So, I don't know what this would be. But you have, like, a group. I guess it says group, so I guess it's a group. Then you have another group. So there's actually a bunch of patches that come with this. So we've gone through all of the patches in group 1. We were just going through 2, but there are still many more left there. I actually haven't listened to any of the stuff in group 3, and I believe that's the last one, group 3, because it won't let me go up anymore. So, and then you have user. So you have 3 groups of 8x8, what is that, 64? I think. Am I mathing correctly? Something like that. You have, oh wow. I just realized when I hold the microphone, it adds a little bit of noise to it. Interesting. Anyways, yeah, you have, I think you have 3 groups of 64, plus you have your own, user patches. So quite a lot. And then the other thing I didn't actually get around to using, because actually this microphone, the reason why I have it set up right here next to the synth, not only is it convenient for today because I'm obviously sitting here at messing with it, but also actually it has a vocoder, and the vocoder is actually unique to the 8080. The JP-8080 did not have the vocoder built in. So I actually played around with it a little bit. It's quite fun. It's a little bit difficult to use, especially because once again you have the upper and lower sounds, which once again can re-synthesize the input. But also you have a shift function here. So if I click this, when I use the shift function, anything that's been labeled in blue here is now part of the vocoder as well. So you have like this controls like some of the other timbres of the vocoder itself, in addition to the resynthesis of the oscillators in both the upper and lower. So you can get really complicated vocoder sounds out of it that I would have to play around with a lot to kind of figure it out. But it's pretty fun. I should also mention something else that I think is really cool, and technically I don't think this is not very unique to the 8080, because I'm pretty sure even the Mini Logue does this, but it does also have input jacks on the back of it as well that you can hook in external gear. Of course, this will bypass the oscillators, but it will use the other like filters and stuff, part of the sound making circuitry, to modify the sound. So theoretically, actually, what I could do is, because I said, like, I think the Mini Logue has the auxiliary input on it, I could actually probably take the output of the JP-8080, feed it into the Mini Logue, and then I could use its filter to cut off, the 8080, or vice versa. I could do that, or I could plug in my guitar and do it that way, or whatever. The sky's the limit. There's obviously a lot of function built into this synth. I don't know if I'll ever even use all of it, but I can say I really love this synth. It has its problems, like I said, it's kind of annoying having to make adjustments to sounds because of the upper and lower layers. I don't like the sliders as much as I like knobs. The envelope sliders are totally fine because you are not going to be adjusting those very much during performances, but like cutoff is like something I love to fiddle with during performances. So I would really like something that's easier to adjust and make nuanced changes to, which is better with a encoder. Plug your 8080 into your Monotron for the filter. I don't think it has an aux in on the Monotron. So, but I really love this synth. I don't know when I'm going to be getting around to making any music with it, though. I'm currently working on a song now, and I've tried to kind of fiddle with getting some 8080 sounds into that song, but it's kind of a slower, more, I don't know, emotional song, and it's really kind of tough to find somewhere to fit the 8080 in. So I don't really know when I'll be making like a real song with it. I did open up Reaper thinking I would probably use it a little bit more today, but obviously I didn't. But I do want to show that I did make like a really quick demo song, like super duper quick. So don't expect anything fancy. It's using the patches that I had shown off kind of at the beginning. There is a bass patch and also a kind of a lead sound as well. So I can play that real quick. Let me kind of slide over here. I want to move this screen back to where it belongs. And here we have that patch open, or patch project open. I think it's all right. It's all right for a song that I put together in about an hour. Yeah, there's my alarm reminding me that I need to end the stream. So let's do this, and then we'll kind of wrap up. So I'll preview this. Oh, wait, you can't hear it because it's set to the wrong driver. Every time I forget that. Device, driver, No, not dummy audio. Not dummy audio. Wasapi. There we go. Let's try that again. And then it just ends suddenly. Because like I said, it was thrown together in like an hour. I really like the bass line. The bass line's quite funky. I may actually repurpose that bass line for another song. I may just actually build on this song later whenever I'm actually ready to make a song with the synth. But anyways, it is a really, really cool synth. I spent too much money on it, and I really should not have. But also, I'm kind of glad that I did because, gosh, it makes me so happy. You know, one other thing I forgot to mention. I spent more. No, I'm not gonna. No. I'll bring it up later. Maybe. I don't know. I have to wrap up the stream because I have stuff I need to do. I need to be somewhere at 1 o'clock, which is an hour from now. So. I gotta start getting ready for my day. So I don't know if I'm ever gonna do one of these morning streams again. These morning streams, I was so tired. I also didn't get good sleep last night, so that didn't help. But it sounds exactly like the first song you'd make with New Gear. Yeah. Actually, gosh, I can't believe I forgot. There are demo songs built into the 8080. I should have shown those off. I actually haven't even heard any of the demo songs either, but it talks about them in the manual. It's like one of the shift functions. It has, I think, 3 or 4 built-in songs. Damn it. I might show that off maybe next stream or something, like after we play a game, maybe kind of a post-stream kind of thing or something. I don't know. But I have to wrap up for today. So... anyways, yeah, thanks for joining. It's a bonus stream today. I'm not going to be streaming later this evening because I'm going to a party, so I won't be here. But I, of course, wanted to show off my new synth. And so, yeah, it was a lot of fun going through all the presets with you guys. I will hopefully be streaming next weekend. I was actually talking to my friend who's having the party, and we were actually... making plans to maybe go out next weekend too, but hopefully we were talking more like a lunch kind of thing, so it might be possible for me to stream next weekend. I don't know. You guys will see me whenever you see me next time I stream. There will be a video going up tonight though to make up for the lack of stream. It will be one of the highlights, but I think it's a good one. So anyways, oh right, my camera's over there. I was gonna wave to, hang on, here we go. Okay, anyways. So, thank you guys so much for joining, and I will... Look at me, damn it. Look at me. Okay. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!